Hi, I'm Tyler Carlson, Chief Executive Officer of Mohave Electric Cooperative. Behind me is Davis Dam, located on the mighty Colorado River between Bullhead City, Arizona and Laughlin, Nevada. The construction of Davis Dam and the beginning of Mohave Electric share an important chapter in the history of Bullhead City. In 1946, construction of Davis Dam brought workers to the area and signaled the beginning of a growing community with homes and businesses and the need for electricity. Investor-owned utilities would not serve our small rural community, so the only answer was for the people to form an electric cooperative and do it themselves. The first MEC lines were energized in 1947, and back then the co-op distributed power generated at Davis Dam and purchased the power from the United States Bureau of Reclamation. Today, MEC receives a very small allocation of hydroelectric power from Davis Dam. Only about 2% of MEC's purchased power is from Davis Dam. Let's take a look at the history of Davis Dam and its importance for flood control, irrigation, recreation, and power generation. The story begins 67 miles north of here with the construction of Boulder Dam, now known as Hoover Dam, one of the greatest engineering achievements of the modern era.
One look at the Hoover Dam's sheer magnitude inspires genuine wonder and amazement. Standing in the shadows of this engineering marvel reminds you just how impressive American ingenuity can be. The Hoover Dam was constructed in order to control the mighty Colorado River and its periodic cycles of flooding and drought. In 1902, the Bureau of Reclamation began surveying and studying the river for locations of possible dam sites. One of its surveyors was Arthur Powell Davis. He spent many years traveling up and down the Colorado River. Davis served as chief engineer of the United States Reclamation Service from 1907 to 1920, as well as its director from 1914 to 1923. He determined the best solution was to build a high dam in a deep canyon upstream to control the river. And the best area to construct Hoover Dam was in Black Canyon, located on the Colorado River about 35 miles southeast of Las Vegas, Nevada. Davis reported his findings and proposal to Congress, and it eventually passed legislation to begin construction of Hoover Dam to control and regulate the Colorado River. In 1930, President Herbert Hoover, who the dam is named after, signed the appropriations bill to fund construction of this massive project. Before construction on the dam could begin, engineers had to figure out how the Colorado River could be diverted. After dredging the riverbed clear of silt and sediment, engineers decided that 4 massive diversion tunnels had to be dug from the walls of Black Canyon. The 4 tunnels were able to divert river flow around the dam site to join the Colorado River farther downstream. Pre-construction activities lasted for 2 years in Black Canyon before placement of concrete in the dam began. Some of this work included blasting the canyon walls to get them ready to accept the design of the Hoover Dam. In order to blast the canyon walls, workers called high scalers were suspended on ropes, and they would drill holes in the canyon walls and load those holes with dynamite. Following a blast, these acrobatic men would expertly scale across the high canyon walls and remove loose rock and debris. During this time, a barrier across the inlets to the Arizona side tunnels was installed. When the Arizona tunnels were ready to accept the river water flow, workers used explosives to bring down the barrier, and the river began to flow through those tunnels. Earth and rock were trucked in and dumped from a trestle to block the Colorado River channel, which forced the flow of water into the diversion tunnels. Workers used the same technique for the other tunnels, successfully diverting the water around the Hoover Dam construction site. Concrete blocks for the dam were poured one by one, row by row. In all, the Hoover Dam required more than 3.25 million cubic yards of concrete, plus another 1.15 million cubic yards for the power plant, intake towers, and support structures, bringing the grand total to 4.4 million cubic yards of concrete placed. The U-shaped power plant located at the downstream toe of the dam consists of 3 sections. The Arizona and Nevada wings extend from the face of the dam and are connected by the center section that runs across the face of the dam. The center section houses the control room, administration offices, shops, and storage areas. The wing sections house the generating units, and they were designed to house a total of 17 units, 8 in the Nevada wing and 9 in the Arizona wing. Upon completion, the Hoover Dam had some enormous numbers. 5.5 million cubic yards of material excavated, 45 million pounds of reinforcement steel used, 21.76 million pounds of gates and valves. More than 44 million tons of steel were formed and welded into 14,800 feet of penstock and outlet pipes. More than 5 million barrels of cement were used in the construction of the dam, which weighs more than 6.6 million tons. The average number of people employed on the project was 3,500, with more than 5,200 people employed during the peak of construction. On September 30th, 1935, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt dedicated Hoover Dam. He praised the work of the designers and builders who created this monumental dam to control the Colorado River. Hoover Dam is a concrete gravity arch structure just over 726 feet tall and 1,244 feet long. It is 660 feet wide at the base and 45 feet wide at the top. The generators inside the Hoover Dam create power for the Southwest United States. 56% of power generated goes to Southern California, 25% to Southern Nevada, and 19% to Arizona. The low-cost power generated by the 17 power units at Hoover Dam provide enough energy each year to supply 500,000 homes. The water released at Hoover Dam provides irrigation benefits to more than 1.5 million acres of land in the Southwest, as well as the municipal and industrial needs of more than 16 million people. The reservoir created by the Hoover Dam is Lake Mead, and its water supports a variety of recreational uses and provides habitats to a large variety of fish and wildlife. After the Hoover Dam project was authorized for development, additional sites along the Colorado River were investigated for potential dam sites. 67 miles downstream from Hoover Dam is Davis Dam, named in honor of Arthur Powell Davis and located in Pyramid Canyon. The main reason for selecting this site was the ease of power development, which was necessary to meet the rapidly increasing demand for electrical energy in the Southwest. Additionally, this site provides better management of the river for allocation of water to downstream users, irrigation, flood control, and improved navigation. Authorization for the Davis Dam project occurred in 1941 and initial work began in 1942, but was halted during World War II by our nation's War Production Board for the duration of the war. Following the end of World War II, construction began again on the Davis Dam project in the spring of 1946. Completed in 1953 at a cost of $67 million, the Davis Dam and Power Plant facility were constructed by the Bureau of Reclamation. It is an earth and rock-filled embankment with a concrete spillway, gravity structure, intake structure, and power plant. During construction, 5 million cubic yards of earth and rock were excavated to form the diversion, forebay channel, foundations for the dam, spillways, intake structures, and power plant. Formation of the dam and other structures required more than 3.6 million cubic yards of earth and rock fill, around 600,000 cubic yards of concrete, and 23 million pounds of reinforcing steel for the spillway, power plant, and other structures. Davis Dam's completion also led to economic and residential growth along both sides of the river downstream from the dam. Situated just north of the point where Arizona, Nevada, and California meet, this location helped to spur the growth of the communities of Bullhead City and Laughlin. These communities lie approximately 2 miles downstream from the dam on both sides of the river and are ideally located to take advantage of the many economic opportunities. In 1964, the formation of the Lake Mead National Recreation Area, which includes Lake Mohave, put the national spotlight on the welcoming blend of the warm desert and cooling water this area offers. As word has spread about this unique desert and river region, both tourists and retirees seeking to escape harsh winters up north and back east travel here to bask in the sun and enjoy the river and reservoirs created by the dams. With all of these visitors, the local economy has expanded, and the cities the dams have created along the Colorado River have flourished and attracted more permanent residents. The Davis Dam truly has created a community along the banks of the mighty Colorado River.
I hope you've enjoyed this bit of history. We've come a long way since 1946. Mohave Electric has grown to serve more than 33,000 members. I am happy to say that after several years working with elected officials, MEC will begin receiving a small allocation of Hoover Power starting in 2017. For more than 80 years, cooperatives were denied access to an allocation of Hoover Power. Congressman Paul Gosar was instrumental in overcoming long-standing regulatory barriers to make this happen on behalf of our members. We've worked hard with people like Congressman Gosar and others to make sure we can meet the challenges of the future. Most of all, we've worked on behalf of our members, the people at the end of the line who use our power. We're committed to putting members first, providing exceptional service and reliable, affordable energy.